Achalugo money, Dabutuku, Nanga Bagego. And they ball me from Mambola Geu. Okota Canes and my daddy menu. A daddy menu, my neighbor, my young guy again. Makango Tato Nangi Bugebu. It's the name of flavor, my name, Madame Manchinedu. Or pick and they could the Kango Sugo do my nebu. And Danny Patanko, but on a happen there. We do, can I do the Kubenu? When I'm a voice, it didn't get another game. When the ready, may be played. I saw a fellow. I saw a fellow. I want to give but one man, I lay on them and one man, women, tell them I'm a Malaga. I can't ever put a leaf and baby man or the love fella. I would tell them who are the name where baby and one lot.
Watching a look of your baby who need any menama. Watching a look of your baby who need any menama. Watching a look of your baby who need any menama. Watching a look of your baby who need any menama. Ngwa kaitewe ya, kaitewe ya, ngwa pulitewe ya, kaitewe ya, ngwa kaitewe, pulitewe ya, ngwa kaitewe ya, pulitewe ya. Ekenekene shift e-money, wata na yezi, wanuli. Oye chinye luku bia babebu ni fene menama. Nwa chinye luku bia babebu ni fene menama. Oye chinye luku bia babebu ni fene menama. Ngwa kaitewe ya, kaitewe ya, ngwa pulitewe ya, kaitewe ya, ngwa kaitewe, pulitewe ya, ngwa kaitewe ya, pulitewe ya.
It's my turn to beat, baby.
Okay, the show is still Morning Grill, Chill and Grill with Pluto on TV. And of course, you just enjoyed that video that came from KC featuring Fino Dance. Yeah, a fusion of our kind of music or pattern that has to do with percussion and all of that. Well, no problem. Well, like I said, I talked about having Mr. Emo 2019, the person of Pascal Okoha, very much in the building, and we're going to be talking about modeling and his career and all of that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's make welcome Pascal Okoha, Mr. Emo 2019. You're welcome to the show.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Wow, Your Highness, I can't shout. You're welcome to Chill and Grill on Morning Grill.
Thank you.
Okay, let's start like this. May we get to meet you? May we get to meet Mr. Emo 2019?
Okay, my name is Pascal Okoha, and then I'm a native of Okohe Autonomous Community in Isekinese, Idato South, Imo State.
Okay.
I am a model, and then I am an actor. Okay, yeah, I am actually the first son of my family, and then we are two.
Okay, two.
Yeah, and then I am an actor, like I said. I'm a model too, and then I am a part-time fitness instructor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. A whole lot about you. Now, coming to your Mr. Emo 2019, that's the major spotlight here right now.
Yeah.
Mr. Emo 2019. Tell us about this pageant itself? Because I think we have. I'll be interested to know the category itself, because I don't know. Let me just. I'm just talking from a layman perspective.
Yeah,
we have Mr. Imo nature, Mr. Imo face, stuff like that. Which one has got to do with yours?
Okay, actually, the other ones you mentioned, like the Mr. and Mrs. Imo Nature, those other ones you mentioned are actually subsidiaries.
Okay,
or will I say pageants that emanated from Mr. and Mrs. Imo. Okay. So just like you have Mr. Nigeria, Mr. Imo is the main pageant is the main pageant in Imo State.
Okay.
You understand? It's more like when you talk about Mr. and Mrs. Imo, you talk about the number one first, or you could say the first son and the first daughters of Imo State.
Okay.
You understand? Okay. More like the youth ambassador of Imo State.
Okay.
You understand? So these other pageants you mentioned are actually emanated from Mr. and Mrs.
Okay, in other words, you're saying that the likes of Adimo or Parimo are all subsidiary.
No, that's not actually what I said. Ada na Oparimo is actually the native,
the traditional aspect.
Yeah, the traditional aspect of Mr. and Mrs. Imo. Because like Ada in Igbo means first daughter.
The first daughter, yeah.
And then Opara means the first son. Yeah, so that is also what it means. Mr. and Mrs. Imo is actually the English part.
Okay, the contemporary aspect of it,
the
big man. So now, since you haven't mentioned all this, what's the experience like, having been crowned Mr. Imo 2019? The experience being like, I believe all eyes will be on you, and attention and all that, the paparazzi. So how has it been so far, talking from your own experience and point of view?
Okay, actually, I must tell you, it's been an awesome experience.
Okay.
Though it's not been a long time I got crowned Mr. Imo. The event took place on the 13th of April, so it's not been quite long. And the experiences, it's been awesome, like I said, going for functions, from one function to the other, and then trying to, still be you.
Okay.
And I just have to say it's been awesome. It's been awesome. That's just the word to crown it off.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I think the one that gets most models overwhelming has to do with okay, like you said, being awesome, but then at times it gets into them. What do you feel? Do you think that spotlight gets into some, and they're like, I'm the queen, I'm the king, and like, do you feel something like that? Do you?
Yeah. Actually, it's something that comes with crowns.
Okay.
It's something that comes with crowns. But naturally, I'm a very humble person, so I have felt that urge to want to spread wings and all of that. But for real, I'm a very humble person naturally. So I felt the urge, but this is still me, humble.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Okay, now talking about modeling itself, of course we've gotten several platforms, engaging in modeling and all of that. But so far so good. We've noticed that the pageant in Imo State has come a long way. Having to do that, we have some contestants or pageants, going international, just like. Somto, he was supposed to be on the show, but something's happened and all of that. So how has it been like, all the time, all the while so far? How has it been with the modeling industry? Has it been that lucrative?
Yeah, it's been lucrative. Actually, this question takes me aback. Before I emerged as the Mr. Imo, I have had series of experiences in the modeling industry. As a matter of fact, I am still the current face of Igbo heritage.
Okay, face of Igbo heritage. Okay.
And also, I have contested for pageants like Africa's Most Wanted Model.
Okay.
Yeah, and then
where did that take place?
Where it took place?
Yeah.
In Nigeria.
In Nigeria.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that was 2014.
2014.
Yeah.
Okay, way back.
And I've walked some runways too. So, but I tell you, pageant brings out the best in people. Pageant have brought out the best in me.
Okay.
And I must tell you, pageant is a good business and it's a good experience. You feel?
Okay.
Yeah, like you said, some models from this pageant, from Imo State pageant to be particular, has actually soared high.
Okay.
You know, the likes of Somto Dike and
Somto,
don't be offended, you know. And then
Emmanuel Somto.
Emmanuel Somto, Brian Okwara, who was once the Mr. Nigeria, and all that. So I tell you, pageant is really an awesome experience, and it has exposed me, you know, to the world. You understand?
Okay.
Because after I did my first pageant, I got movie roles. You know, I had some directors calling me up for movie roles, and even as I talk to you now, I have series of movie directors also calling me up for movie roles and endorsements. So it's been an awesome experience, I tell you.
Okay, haven't said all this. You know, you've said so many wonderful things about the industry itself, being a practitioner. What are the challenges? Because I'm very much aware about challenges involved. I understand that every industry has got its own challenge, you know, but then having been a practitioner, can you share with us some of the challenges you had when you're coming up, or you know, or that are prevalent challenges in in as much as you've talked about the successful aspect of it, but I believe nothing good comes easy, you know, those challenges.
Okay, actually, the first challenge I faced as a model was knowing someone in the industry. You know, there's this thing in our entertainment industry that you have to know someone that knows someone. Someone. You know, You know, but when I was coming up, I didn't really have anyone. You know, my mom just really saw this model aspect of me, and then she always encouraged me to do stuff like that, you know. So I decided to venture into it, not knowing or having anyone, you understand. But I thank God that I met some good persons, you know, that guided me through. You know, so the challenges I have actually encountered is not having someone to push me. Yeah, you know how difficult it can be.
I understand.
Yeah,
I understand.
And then you know, when you're a cute man, you know what happens.
I understand.
You know, you know, so that's actually.
No, break it down. What happens? Break it down. I don't know, for the benefit of those seeing us right now.
For real, you don't want to hear that. Okay, yeah, you know.
No, break it down.
What's even flux of
ladies, you know,
and then
you can get distracted, you know, all of that. But so, you fall in love with some, you know.
You don't get to fall in love with everybody anyway, but along the line, sometimes, you know, you can, because you need your fans anyway. But it doesn't mean you have to go down with every fan. You understand? Yeah, but sometimes, you know, you need to just.
Okay, don't get it twisted, man. That's what the show is all about. You just break things down, and you know, we'll get deep into what we are talking about for the benefit of you seeing us, and then we see. We get entertained, and then we learn as well. Before we observe this break, we have you see Pascal, you're Mr. Nigeria 2019. You're an ambassador on the show, and I believe that
Mr. Imo actually.
Mr. Imo.
Yeah.
What did I say before?
Mr. Nigeria. I think you're seeing a vision.
Yes, I'm seeing a vision already. So if it becomes one, know that I've said it already because I'm flowing right now in the spirit. Okay, okay. Let's leave it on Mr. Imo. That's what you've won so far. And you're an ambassador, and yes, you spotted the wrong side. Sorry, the wonderful aspect of it, and being in this field, you know, there are certain ill talks about the industry itself. Now, because you're here, I want to bring you in so that you clear all doubt and all of that. You know, some people will say that modeling these days, or modeling of the world today, has to do with how do I put it? You know, some kind of I don't know how to go about it. LGBT stuff and all of that. You know, like you know, I'm saying this because you're an ambassador in the building. Maybe perhaps you stand a chance of correcting some anomaly or some kind of thoughts about these things. You know, what do you feel? What's your take when they say people into modeling? Some of them are, you know, into lesbianism or gay stuff and all of that.
Okay, thank you very much for this question. This particular question I like very much. You see, people have their sexuality. You understand? The gay lesbianism thing you're talking about does not have to do with entertainment alone.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Okay.
So people and their lifestyle. Do you understand? So when people come out and say this industry, the modeling industry, has a lot to do with being gay, I tell you is a lie, because I've had a series of experiences.
Okay.
You know, I tell you is a lie.
Okay.
You know, you can be what you are.
Okay.
Irrespective.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Yeah. So whatever you see happening in the modeling industry is also applicable in other parts,
Other industries as well.
You understand?
Okay.
So I don't think it's true.
Okay.
I don't think it's true.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Okay, coming from Mr. Imo 2019, Pascal Okoa, very much in the building, and of course you've been hearing him, saying things about himself, his career, and all of that, and more you are going to be hearing from him. But then let's go take this short break that has to do with modeling. Of course, how to walk on the runway. If you're aspiring to becoming a model, there are certain rudiments you need to learn. Okay, that will propel you or make you a better model. So go see this one, and then we'll come back. We have a whole lot to talk. We're going to talk about the financial aspect a whole lot before we leave. Pascal Loco and Mr. 2019, Mr. Imo 2019 in the building. I tore off my heart for you. We'll be right back after this break. We'll be right back.
All right.
Hi, I'm Trudy Tapscott, and one of the most exciting parts of modeling is walking on a runway. And it is an art form. I think the basics of walking are learning your where to position your weight, where to position your shoulders. It's very relaxed. You have to keep your body straight, your neck is straight, your shoulders are straight. You have to remember that you're showing clothes. And you have to also remember specifically who you're walking for, because there's kind of different walks. But the basics are you want to keep your shoulders back, your hips forward, and your feet straight, which all sounds really easy in the beginning, but once you really start walking and putting all the moving parts together, it's really difficult. You have to keep your weight a little bit forward. You don't want to put all the weight on your heel. You want to look like you're gliding. Your face is completely relaxed, like you're not thinking about it, and it's second nature, and you're not singing the words to the song, which is also something that happens in the beginning. Balance their stride, balance their weight, and keep the shift of their body and their arms to their sides. If you swing your arms too much, it's a huge distraction. So you want to keep everything really simple and walk very basically. It's very simple, it's very balanced, and it's in high heels. And the way you practice this at home, if you want to become confident in learning how to walk as a model, you put a full-length mirror at the end of your hall. You try not, hopefully it's just a flat surface, and you walk back and forth. When a model first comes to New York, that is all they do, is just keep practicing. You have models come in the agency all the time, and they're critiqued. Different agents go and watch them, how they walk in certain heels, walk in a variety of high heels. Sometimes it shows in the last minute you don't get the perfect size of shoe, so you have to learn to walk in different sizes, because you have to, at the very end of the day, you have to be able to start and finish the runway with whatever you have on and make it look great. Knowing that you are walking from your head to your toe, that it's very straight, that it's balanced, keeping your arms to your sides, that's what really makes a great walk. And no one knows how to do that without practicing. Walking is one of the key things that you have to practice. You have to practice all the time. Hi, I'm Trudy Tapscott, and one of the most exciting
Yeah, very, very imperative for you to know those things. You know, in everything we do in life, it's very, very, very good to understand some of the ethics or etiquette, rudiments, you know, of that, so that you can be the best in that which you're doing. So that was what you just saw, talking about how to walk on the runway, very important one. Of course, we have a model in the building talking about Mr. Imo 2019, Mr. Imo 2019, in the person of Pascal Oko, very much in the building. And we've been talking about modeling, his experiences, and all that. Okay, welcome back to the show. Pascal, let's talk about business now. Modeling is showbiz, show business. So everything showbiz.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's talk about the business part of the show. How lucrative? Of course, I asked you this question before. You just, but I want us to, you know, dig deep a little.
Okay.
Let's talk about modeling. How lucrative can this venture be? Like, your winner. How can one sustain that tempo? Because I believe it requires money, funds, you know, to be there, because you're representing brands, people, the face of the state, and all of that. And this thing requires funds. So how do you go about it as a model, as Mr. Imo 2019?
Okay, thank you very much for that question.
Okay.
You know, like I said earlier on, pageant is big and a very beautiful business, you know, because number one, it's one part of entertainment that has to do with, you know, there are different aspects of modeling anyways.
Okay, break it down.
Yeah, you have the runway, which has to do with fashion and all of that. You have the billboard, which has to do with the advert aspect of it, and then you have the pageant, which I emanated from. Yeah, so, and then you have there are so many of them, but these are the, you know, few I can mention because of time. So let's get back to the question.
Good.
Yeah, it's big business because, like I told you earlier on, after I contested for Mr. African Most Wanted Model. I got endorsements, you know. So, and that opened me up. You know, from the endorsement I got, you know, of course, endorsement has to do with you sign and then you get paid a particular amount of money to represent the brand. So on that note, you know, when you are paid, you feel when you appear and when you do things for the brand that is paying you, you are actually into business with the brand because it has to do with transaction. You are giving and they are giving to you. So you understand that is one aspect of it being a business. And secondly, you know, when you get to star in some movies, when you're good, when you have, you know, like I told you, after this set, I'll be going for a movie set actually, and then, you know, I can't feature in movies without getting paid. Do you understand? Now that is another aspect of it being business. Because whatever you do that gives you income is business.
It's business.
Do you understand? So now I trade my face,
and they pay
for it.
They pay for it.
You understand? It is a transaction and it's business. No, that's actually talking about me. Now, but when you come into the industry, the modeling industry proper, you know, the fashion aspect of it is also a big business. Like if you have actually taken note of what is happening in today's market, you can see the likes of Gucci, you can see the likes of Fendi, and all of
Versace,
Versace and the rest of it. You know, those are actually fashion industries.
Do we have any Nigerian designer too?
Yes.
Because I was about talking about your clothing. You know, we've talked about Gucci, Versace. What about us?
Actually, you're indirectly talking about my outfit.
Very nice.
Like you said earlier, we have some really good designers in Nigeria. You can talk of Dafe Omute. Actually, I modeled for his underwear. And you can talk of Stitch Doctor, who is actually my designer. These are actually big brands in Nigeria. And then Obitaris and the rest of them. So, like I was saying, if you could break it down into the fashion aspect of modeling, it's big business because when these people make clothes, make stuffs for their brand, and you get to model it for them, now people get to see their brand through you. So now they pay you for showing the people their brand, and then the people pay them
for getting those clothes.
For getting those. I don't know
because for you to have been, the one showcasing it, it would get them attracted. Like, let's. It looks good on him. Okay, let me go get this clothes, and so it replicates. The money trickles down to your pocket and to your pocket and everything. That's showbiz.
That's showbiz for real.
Okay. Now, but I haven't talked about clothes makers.
Yeah.
What about in the state? Do we have any ones, really thriving, doing great? Yeah.
Yeah, like the Stitch Doctor I told you about. Yeah, he's actually based here in Imo State.
Okay.
Then the Dafia Umute too is based here in Imo State, and then you also have Samuel Couture.
Okay.
These are really good designers that are based here in the East. Yeah.
Okay. Let me tease you up with this question.
Okay.
If you're driving, and you now happen to see your picture, on a very large billboard, or not necessarily large, but just on a billboard, what would you do? Without them seeking your consent?
Well, like I said, this is still under pageant being a business or modeling being a business. If you have my face on a billboard without my consent, that's trouble. Actually, that's trouble because I ought to have
sue them.
I ought to have been, told, or we ought to have entered into an agreement before my face would have appeared on your billboard. But when you do that without my notice, that means you are attracting us going to the court.
Okay, let's take it from this angle again. Still another teaser. What if you're like, you're yet to win anything? Let's take it from that perspective. Like you're yet to win anything, and maybe because of your cute look, maybe somebody happens to take it from Facebook. And then they make something, and automatically the thing is just blowing. Would you still sue such person or those that are involved? Maybe you're just coming up as in like you now see your picture, one big billboard like that, and you know that you're still coming up. And probably so what would you do? I don't know.
No, at that point,
you still sue them?
I would sue them. Because it just helped my hustle, it just helped my career. Yes, so but if we are talking about when because I'm Mr. Imo and I'm under a brand, the Chris Events company, so if anything is coming into my pocket, if I'm being part of anything, my manager has to know about it. So when you go and you do some things like that without even getting my manager involved, that means you have gone against the law.
No, I understand.
But when I'm not made and you're putting me up there, and through that medium I got made, I can't sue you.
Okay.
I can't sue you because you're more like a destiny helper,
Okay. You're very intelligent. I like intelligent guys. I knew the reason why I asked you that, but then, we're about wrapping up. What are you up to right now? What do you have on board? What are you coming up with?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. I am coming up with a pet project. First of all, I want to tell you what is making me drive to do this particular pet project. I have so many of them, but if you have been very attentive lately, I presume you would have been hearing about cases of suicide and all of that.
Good, yeah, of course.
That's actually supposed to be one of the little projects I wanted to do, but I'm taking it up now as maybe the second or the first project I would do because, it's becoming very alarming.
Yeah.
A friend of mine took his life not quite long ago. So,
serious?
And then, and you'll be surprised to know why he took his life.
Why?
It was not supposed to be an option, but he came up one day and he told me, guy, did you see that news on Instablog of that guy that took his life because his girlfriend left him? I was like, yeah. He said, man, that is actually the best option to leave this world.
Imagine.
And then he also indirectly said that when he leaves, the world will know about him.
Imagine.
So what am I trying to point?
Is that not ignorance?
It's ignorance, actually. But I think the media should also, be careful about how they, bring this news, this suicide news on board, because you are trying to indirectly get someone, interested in something that is not so. I know it's ignorance, actually. I don't know how people are going to perceive this now, but I am preparing a big pet project because of the time. Let me cut the whole thing short. I'm preparing a big pet project that has to do with the youth, the aged, and then the society at large.
Okay, in other words, are you saying that the media blows it into a sort of awkward proportion whereby, people tend to, people that are depressed feel like, okay, fine, if it gets to me, people will know me and all of that, and they want to take their lives also.
Okay, yeah,
But that's a wrong perception. I think it's you're talking about sensitization, but I think it shouldn't. Anybody that does that, you're doing that to your own detriment. Why would you want to? Because you feel you'll be talked about, haven't killed yourself. But by the way, if you die, who would you know if you've been talked about?
No, my point is that the media should just cut the rate at which they give news about suicide cases, because you might be getting someone informed negatively. Because if someone is thinking about this thing this other way, I tell you, he might not be the only one thinking about it this way. So what I'm trying to say is, media should just cut or limit the rate at which they announce suicide cases.
But don't you think that we are in the age whereby that even when something happens here, it gets into the news, even not necessarily in the media. Anybody can be a media practitioner. Hence, you have your phone and you just browse and you send on Instagram, Facebook, and it becomes news. Don't you think it goes beyond just the media? It has to do with individuals, people around, and not just the media in quote.
Okay, yeah, you're right, actually. But there are media companies people look up to.
Okay.
You understand? There are media companies that people always go to seek for news and all of that. Do you understand? So, but if those big media houses can just choose to curb the rate at which they announce suicide cases, I think it will just help the society, if not 2% or 3%. I don't know if you're getting my point.
I understand. I understand from your, but I understand what you're saying, because the more people get to hear these things, they feel like when they get engulfed into when they indulge into it, people still talk about them and all of that. But that's a wrong perspective. If you're thinking you'll be talked about, forget. If you kill yourself, God will judge you. There's no two about it. I don't want to start saying anything. But as a model, I understand what you're saying, trying to say the model, that the media shouldn't blow it that much and everything. I understand. But then, for you to start thinking that's the best way for you to get popular, man, forget about it. That's ignorance on the highest capacity. Okay, you're a model, you're a superstar, you're an ambassador here. What have you got to say to people seeing us right now before we leave?
Okay, thank you. Well, if you're out there and you're listening to me right now, I will want you to be encouraged seeing me, because my story, actually, the way I started, I didn't start in a very beautiful way.
Wow.
But my take about this whole thing is that always believe in yourself and always believe in what you can achieve. There's actually this advert that stirs me up from Glow. There is this their logo. Their motto, there is no limit to what you can achieve.
Okay.
I started seeing that from a very young age, and each time I want to go for anything, I think about that word, and it inspires me a whole lot. You understand? So what I'm trying to say is there is absolutely nothing you cannot achieve as long as you have belief. Do you understand? Have you taken, for instance, why people will just go to a stone and then they tell the stone, I want this to happen, and suddenly it happens? It's not like the stone made it happen, but it is because they had belief. You understand? So nature trades with belief and faith. So if you have the belief and you have the faith, definitely you are going to achieve a whole lot.
Chai. No, that's very deep. Yeah. That's very deep. Having said all this, please, for the benefit of those seeing you that would want to get in touch with you, I would like you to. I believe you're all on every social media account. Could you please just drop them for follow up and all of that?
Okay, my Instagram handle is Pascal Okoha. Pascal space Okoha.
Okay.
Just Pascal _ Okoha. Yeah, that's my Instagram. Then my Facebook is Pascal Okoha. The Pascal is spelled PASCHAL.
Okay.
Then the _ UKOHA. Okay. Then for my Facebook, PASCHAL, then UKOHA. That's Facebook, and then and that will be it.
Yeah, Facebook, Instagram. Twitter.
My Twitter handle is also the same name, Pascal Okoha.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are the
Yes.
links. Okay, you've heard very much. Well, let me thank you for coming to Chill and Grill, Morning Grill, and we'll be expecting you more of you, and I will believe you'll be growing because virtually all models that's where. When I say your predecessors on the show, so to speak, they are all big today. Something was here 4 years ago, and now going to Malaysia, and where's that country again?
Thailand.
Thailand, contesting overseas. So a whole lot really happening. Do you have anything to say again?
Yeah, I have one more thing to say.
Okay.
You know, to our prominent personalities out there,
Okay.
especially the male.
Okay.
You know, I want to plead with you, you know, to also try and assist your fellow male.
Wow.
Because, you know, in the industry now, it looks as if the females are making waves more than the male.
Man.
That is actually because one man could just get interested in a girl, and because he wants something or he's going to gain something from her, so he tends to help. But when you as a male goes to seek for their help,
And they turn you down.
they tone you down. I have experienced this a whole lot. I'm still experiencing it, and I know some other persons out there are still experiencing it. So please, 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 try to assist the male, both models. In fact, I'll try to assist males too. As a male, you're prominent, you're there. Just try to also assist the male because we need to grow too. We are the fathers of tomorrow, just like the female today.
I like you. You get to talk with that one
You
here.
understand? So you need to also assist the male so that we can also make wave, and
Yeah,
then the
sure,
society at
sure.
large will be touched, you know, with our impact. So that's actually one striking word I want to drop.
You don't minister give me self. You see, you know, we are here, you know. Man, thank you, man. In fact, you're in the spirit. It's true. What Pascal just said now is the truth. I mean, you just nailed it, you know, and that's what's happening. That's what's you see. A guy, you see a lady, and next thing, lady don't work. I come like sit down and get 10 head.
Yeah.
But not lie. Let's try to, you know, if you're there, you've gone there and you've made it. You know, pick other male, you know, around and also make them not just. We're not saying you should not help the female folk, but then, you know, let it be balanced because I mean, man, you talk, man. This is spiritual talk.
Deep one.
Deep one, it didn't cut me because you just talked. It's also, I mean, it's also applicable to me too. You know, some people see you out there, they're like that guy Sean. But if not, I mean, no, it shouldn't be like that. I think you just nailed it right now. I believe we've least they've all heard and they will take a cue from what you just said. Well, thank you very much. A very deep one. You can see this video on YouTube. In case you can log on to YouTube after this time out, you're going to be having this conversation on YouTube, and then he just said something, so you'll be hearing it over and over again. It is an internal something, you understand? Just like food for thoughts, you understand? You're a philosopher, man. Philosopher Pascal Okoha. Okay, it's a wrap right now. Let's do it again on Thursday. Chill and Grill, Morning Grill, and it's been a delightful moment with Mr. Imo 2019 Pascal Okoha, and also a one-time Africa Most Wanted model. Check out, a very big dude in the building, and we wish him the best as he continues in his endeavor when it has to do with modeling. Thank you very much for seeing today's edition, and let's do it again on Thursday. Chill and Grill with Pluto, and we still keep remaining great on the show. It's a wrap right now. Bye for now.
Well, I remember November when our love was just really tender. You done make me the running out of skelter. You done me to Rasta. Baby, kilo day. Oh, baby, kilo day. Say kilo day. Oh, kilo day.
Shout ballistic.
Ọ̀dọ̀dún lára orógbó, ọ̀dọ̀dún lára Hausa, ọ̀dọ̀dún lára ọmọbìn lórí igbá, my life don better. Ọ̀dọ̀dún lára orógbó, ọ̀dọ̀dún lára Hausa, ọ̀dọ̀dún lára ọmọbìn lórí igbá, my life don better. Tọ́ba níta ló kọ́lé tuntun, I'm one of them. Tọ́ba Tabanita Laura Moto, Bogini, I'm one of them. Tabanita Lon Shorire, I'm one of them. Tabanita Lon Shorire, I'm one of them. Oh, what you tiri, Enukolesa, Omo to balagidi, everywhere we go. Everywhere we go. Oh, what you tiri say, Enukolesa, yeah, Enukolesa. To balagidi, everywhere we go. Yeah, everywhere we go. Alakoko akakoko, onígbèsè má pa mí o. Ṣorí tí bá yanjú o, lọ́wọ́ kan lọ́ máa káwọ́ o. Ṣorí money, money. Orí. Ṣorí tí bá yanjú tí bá ṣe gbá etí kanjú o. I'm one of them. Ọ̀dọ̀dún lára orógbó, ọ̀dọ̀dún lára Hausa. Ọ̀dọ̀dún lára ọmọ òbí lórí igbá, my life it don't better. Ọ̀dọ̀dún lára orógbó, ọ̀dọ̀dún lára Hausa. Ọ̀dọ̀dún lára ọmọ òbí lórí igbá, my life it don't better. Tabanita ló kọ́lé tuntun, I'm one of them. Tabanita ló ra mọ́tò bọ̀gìnì, I'm one of them. Tabanita ló ń ṣorí.